What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Rated to Love Season 5 or 6. I don't really know which season we're on, but hey, it's Rated to Love Potomac's Episode 10, the episode titled Better Late Than Never, you guys. Now, before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and are not subscribed to the channel, then I'm going to need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date, having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also sharing the video, you guys. And with that out the way, without further ado, let us discuss Rated to Love, shall we? All right, you guys. So before we go ahead and jump into this review, I do want to let you guys know what the plan is for the weekend, right? Because you guys are only going to see Rated to Love and Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Edition today. You guys may potentially, it's a possibility that you guys could see Love After Lockup later this evening and Love and Marriage Huntsville, right? It's a possibility. I'm not sold on it, you guys. I'm not sold, but you guys might see them. I'm just not too sure. Actually, you guys probably will, because I do think that the OWN app, they do upload the newest episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville early, so you guys may or may not see them. You may see them tonight, you may see them Sunday. I just haven't figured it out on my side yet, but you guys will definitely see them over the weekend. So let's discuss Rated to Love. So you guys remember in the last episode with Rated to Love, we left off with Sabrina pulling Paul to the front and Tori to the front, right? To let them know who would be going home, right? I said it in last week's review and I was correct. It was Tori that went home. I don't know why Sabrina gave that long, drawn-out speech to both Paul and to both Tori. Girl, just spit it out. Tori, the ladies and I have talked, and we just don't feel that you're ready to love, right? But Sabrina, I don't believe that you're ready to love either, so touche. So, I still don't understand why Paul is still around, right? I know one of my subscribers loves Paul. Phil, I know you love Paul, right? I know Paul is your guy. I just, I will say though, this Paul that we've gotten in these last few episodes, I do like this Paul as opposed to the Paul that we got earlier in the season. This Paul that we're getting now, he is a little bit, I don't know if I want to say that. Well, because he's not relatable to me, but I can get with this Paul as opposed to the Paul that came in. Some about people calling him P.O. Why? So, we didn't see Sabrina. She was talking to Demetrius, right? And my thing with Sabrina is with Demetrius, right? You sent home Tori. You fit your connection with Tori fizzled, right? And Tori was pursuing you at one point, but then you have Demetrius who doesn't pursue you at all. Like, you give 100% to Demetrius, but Demetrius gives you nothing. He doesn't do anything. You're chasing Demetrius, right? You're chasing Demetrius. You're asking Demetrius questions like, do you feel this about me? Do you feel that? Do you feel this? Obviously, he doesn't, right? He doesn't feel anything. He is enjoying you chasing him. I just don't, I don't see how she doesn't get it, right? You're giving more effort than he is. So then he says to us, when he's talking to the producers, that the reason that he hasn't given her 100% is because she has connections elsewhere. But that's the name of the game. This is speed dating, right? So you guys are going to be dating different people to see if I have a connection here, if I have a connection there, if I have a connection here, right? And then ultimately, you're going to find your strongest connection and buckle down on that. But you haven't done anything, right? And then we see Carmen. And the only thing that I have, because I don't listen to anything that Carmen says, to be quite honest with you. So the only thing that I have in my notes is Carmen insecure in herself, right? Because Carmen, if you listen to Carmen, right, most times when Carmen talks, Carmen is always talking negatively about another woman. If it's not Dakia, it is Tina. If it's like, but even when it came to Tina, she didn't say too much negative stuff about her, but she always has something negative to say about Dakia, right? And I'm trying to figure out, do you and Dakia know each other outside of this show? Because you have come down hard on Dakia since day one, and I'm just still trying to figure out what the beef is, what the issue is with, and it seems like it's one-sided, right? So then we see Clifton, right? So Clifton, he sat down with Dakia, and I really felt bad for Dakia in this scene because I'm like, Dakia. And speaking of Dakia, she liked two of my tweets, one of my tweets last night, but that's neither here nor there, right? But my thing with Dakia is, you sat down to have this conversation with Clifton, right? Honestly, you really didn't need this conversation because the writings were on the wall. Shout out to Destiny's Child. The writings were literally on the wall. Clifton she was talking about the fact that they had these plans when they got here, right? But those plans didn't follow through because he spent his entire time with Joy. And like I've been saying, like I said last week, and I'm going to say it again this week, when it comes to Clifton, Clifton had already made his choice, right? Clifton had made his choice. His choice was obvious that it was Joy. He spent so much time with Joy, right? They slept in the same room together. They wore those ugly ass onesies. So Clifton made his decision blatantly obvious, right? So I don't know why Dakia needed him to verbally say it to her, because the nonverbal spoke louder than his verbal actions were, right? So I felt bad for her, but I don't know what you wanted from him and what you expected from him, but hey, it is what it is, right? He said he didn't want to spend time with her, right? But his connection with Joy is just so much stronger. Okay, that's all I got. I really can't say much more about that because, like I keep saying, it was obvious. The writings were on the wall. Thou shalt not hate, aka Carmen. But hey, let's pause here and move forward, you guys. Sabrina, you're doing it again, right? So we see Sabrina and Demetrius in the hot tub, and then we see we see Joy and Clifton in the hot tub, right? Once again, Sabrina, she's all over Demetrius, and it's just like, what and why? So then he started rubbing her feet. I'm like, that's the best you can do is touch this woman's feet. Her feet. Her feet. Her feet. Her feet. That's what we got. Y'all, I'm ready for this season to end if you can't tell. If you cannot tell, I'm over this season and I'm ready for it to end. God, I just would love for Tommy to just say, hey, at this point, everybody, I'm just going to send you all home because at this point, I just don't feel like anybody is ready to love. I really wish Tommy would say that. I really wish he would say that. So when Joy and Clifton went in his hot tub, I was like, oh, okay. They've had sex with each other. It was very obvious that Joy and Clifton have had sex. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but hey, they done got busy. They done bumped uglies. They done got horizontal. I mean, they done did the nasty. They done did the bump. You know, they done a lot of things. They've done it. So, in a strange change of events, Tina showed up. I was like, Tina, hey, why are you here? Like, you wasted your gas to come up here. For what? So Tina goes and talks to Donovan, right? And she tells Donovan that, her bonds were not strong with the guys. If your bonds were not strong, why'd you come? Inquirer minds would love to know why you came. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I knew she didn't have a bond with Demetrius. She said that she liked Demetrius, but I knew that was a lie. Her connection with Paul was one and done, and she moved on. I don't think she really had a connection. I don't think she had a connection with any of the guys. She said Donovan, but I just don't believe it was any guy that she had a connection with, right? And can I say I blame her? Not really, right? Because Donovan, I'm gonna go down the line of the guys that I can think of because I keep forgetting who's left, right? Donovan just got out of a marriage, so Donovan is definitely not ready to love. Demetrius is self-centered. He's all about himself, right? He wants someone who's submissive. So Demetrius only thinks about himself, so he doesn't give a fuck about anybody else, right? Paul Paul just gives me, I tweeted this, right? Paul gives me rehearsed. The things that Paul says, it just comes off very rehearsed to me personally. And if you guys, I know, like I said, Phil, I know you like Paul, but we got to be honest, especially when Paul talks, especially in this scene, in this episode when he talked to Dakia. That scene, what he was saying to her, it seemed very rehearsed. It did not seem like it was flowing naturally, right? So yeah, and then who else we got? So we got Paul. I've addressed Paul. I've addressed Donovan. I've addressed Demetrius, and then Clifton. Clifton is a red flag, and I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. Why I say Clifton is a red flag. I'm gonna talk about that. So yeah. So Donovan asked her why was she there. In this whole entire scene, she was just giving to me like, I don't give a fuck. Like, what are you talking to me about this shit for? Like, fuck you. I don't care, right? That's what Carmen was giving me. No, Tina. So then Carmen went out there checking on her. I'm like, girl, you know damn well you don't give a fuck. And she really didn't. I just didn't get that from her. But Tina says that Donovan was the only person there that she liked. I have a hard time believing that as well, right? Because let's go back to last week's episode when Donovan was calling her. She didn't pick up the phone. And it's going to be a running thing in this episode. Her not picking up the phone. So I'm going to pause here, you guys, and we're going to move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, we see Paul and Dakia, as well as Clifton and Joy. They're on dates, right? So, and I this is where I tweeted about the fact that the things that Paul says, granted, they were complimentary things that he was saying to Dakia, but to me, they've come off as if he rehearsed these, right? As if he was in his mirror, like, so when we meet up with Dakia today, we gonna say X, Y, Z to her just to make her feel good, right? That's just the vibe that I got. And then also with Dakia and Paul, to me, it just seems forced, right? This whole connection with those two, it doesn't seem genuine and it doesn't seem real and authentic. It just seems like we're at the end at this point and we need to try to cultivate some relationships just to make it to the end. And that's just what it's giving me, right? Joy and Clifton, when Clifton came into that restaurant and she just leaped onto him like a frog, I was like, damn, girl, it's okay. We ain't got to do all of that, but okay, I guess, right? Um, that's pretty much it. Like I wasn't listening to the date with Paul. I mean, not Paul, but Clifton and Joy because I know he was talking about bodily fluids. I was like, really? Are we talking about? Why are we talking about bodily fluids? Okay. So then the group they met up with Tommy, right? So Tommy told the group earlier, and at the couples retreat, right, that they would be meeting him later in the week. So everybody met up with Tommy, right? Everyone showed up with the exception of Tina. And, he asked them about Tina, and they said, Tina came at the last minute, and that was that, right? He said, so I'm going to have a conversation with Tina. So then here's where I said that Clifton is a red flag, right? I know everybody likes Clifton, right? And I do like Clifton, but I got to be honest that Clifton just is a big red flag to me, right? I get Clifton's hesitancy with, being in communication with your ex. But then I also tweeted this, was Clifton also that ex that dips and, dibbles and dabbles with his exes, right? Because Clifton is given very much that vibe, right? And then how many times has Clifton been married? That's the other thing. How many times has he been married? Like Clifton, gotta be honest, you guys, he's a red flag. He's a red flag. So then Carmen, like I said, Carmen is very insecure of, I can't even say it's just the key. I feel like she's insecure of other women because in this scene, she and Paul got into it because Paul was talking about Dakia. Now, granted, I just said it a minute ago that I do believe that Dakia and Paul are forced, right? But like I just said, Carmen is insecure because she said that she's asked him about his other dates. She's asked him about this. His response is she said he's given to her. First of all, why are you asking about his other dates? It just doesn't make any sense, right? If you're so secure in who you are and that you're secure in this connection, why do you care about the next woman? I just don't understand it. It just makes no sense to me. Dakia and Blue Eyes, they got into a back and forth with each other. And I did not like, when Dakia did say natural versus, did she say natural versus built or or bought or whatever? I was like, now Dakia, that was a little bit of a low blow, but I mean, she is coming at you sideways. But I was like, that's a little bit of a low blow, just a little bit, right? And damn, this is not gonna be a long ass review. Cause this, I'm sorry you guys, but this episode, this season, it's just not, for me, it's just not hitting and it's just not giving to me. So I'm sorry guys, it's just not doing it for me. So hey, it is what it is, right? So Sabrina. Sabrina's a lost cause, right? I just don't get. Sabrina is talking about Donovan, right? And she's talking about the fact that she doesn't know if Donovan is really ready for love, which I'm going to give her that, right? But are you? Like, are you? Because you're pursuing a man that shows little to no interest in you, right? Okay. I guess it is what it is. If, yeah, I just really want this season to wrap up. How many episodes are left? Like, and even with the reunion, I can just they can just give me one episode of a reunion and be done. I think the reason why I'm so overrated to love right now is because we literally did not get a break between DC and Potomac, right? Because Rated to Love DC, they had the reunion part 2. After that, we went right into this season with this cast, and we didn't even get a week. We didn't even get a week. We didn't get a month. So between Potomac and Miami, I hope they give us a few months, right? You guys can come back in. So we're probably going to wrap up in May. We should be finished with Rated to Love by May, right? So June, July, I would say August or September, y'all can come back with the next season because it just ain't it for me right now. It ain't it. It ain't it. It ain't it. And I just feel like when we go to Miami, we're going to get some grown ass boys, right? I just feel like that. Y'all know in Miami, those men are going to be players or so-called players. So yeah. Sorry. And I'm not ranting, you guys. I'm frustrated with this show. The show has a good premise, but I think what the biggest issue with the show is the casting. It's the casting department. Because I feel like with the casting, and I'm not ranting, I'm just expressing my thoughts. So I don't want y'all to think that I'm ranting and I'm raving, because I'm not. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just telling you guys how I feel. But with the casting, I feel like, I know that, when it comes to reality shows, I know that they do a lot of recruiting. I'm not oblivious to that, right? I know that reality shows do a lot of recruiting, but at the same time, it feels to me like you guys cast a lot of people who are not necessarily looking for love. I feel like you guys do a casting of, you guys cast a lot of people who are looking for maybe Instagram followers, social people who want to be social influencers, right? People who want to do modeling, people who want to act, i.e. Cornelius, right? From last season. I just feel like that's what you get. I just feel like that's what's happening, right? It's not a lot of people who are quote unquote looking for love. I feel like it's like a lot of people who are looking for sex, looking for social influence, to be a social influencer, Instagram followers, just different things. That's just what I gather. But I say all that to say casting needs to do better. And I said that to end the episode. Tommy, remember I told you guys, Tommy said he was going to have a conversation with Tina. Well, Tommy called Tina. Tina and him set up an appointment to meet up with each other, and Tina was an hour late. So Tina was basically like, y'all, I'm out this bitch, right? And I don't blame Tina. Like I said, if Tina didn't have no connections, girl, just say peace out. I'm done. I'm good. Thank you for the experience, but I gotta go, right? But that's it, you guys. Please let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Leave your comments in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel and turn on your post notifications. Share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, you guys. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.